Hey guys, welcome back to the show. And on this episode, I'm going to be talking about a movie about a war. A war of wizards. Kind of. I don't know. Honestly, now that I've watched the movie, that title is a real stretch. You'll see what I mean. It's War of the Wizards. Now let's start things off by taking a look at the poster. And what a poster it is. I mean, look at this thing. This is awesome. Lots of color, packed with epic action, and I can't even hate on it for being misleading because all of this stuff is in the movie. It just doesn't look as good. So the movie starts off talking about how this evil force in the form of 3 stars came to Earth looking for treasure that would give it universal powers, which is kind of funny to me. I mean, imagine being an evil force and floating through space, then taking a look at Earth and being like, oh, well, that's a place that probably has a lot of stuff that can give me even more power. Actually, that's not really funny, that's just depressing. But not just any stuff. The evil force is looking for the magic vessel. It's basically a bowl that gives you free stuff, and a bamboo book with unlimited knowledge, which is cool, but I mean, I've got a bunch of stuff that's full of knowledge too, like my Magic 8 Ball, which has never steered me wrong. Like, check this out. Hey, Magic 8 Ball, will I eventually reach 1 million subscribers? Hang on. Wait. All right. Anyways, now we're in a small Chinese fishing village, and here's Tai. He's a fisherman, but everyone makes fun of him because he drinks tea and reads books. You know, trying to be all smart and fancy and shit. I mean, who the hell does he think he is? Which, quite honestly, I have to agree. Don't get me wrong, I'm all for bettering oneself, but unless that book is teaching you how to catch fish by dunking a tea bag in the water, you better get to hooking up some worms and casting a line.
Tai's really quite a smart man. He spends all day thinking and reading by himself. We should treat him like a friend.
Yes, but he doesn't accept reality and responsibility.
Okay, you know what? I actually take offense to that because I spend all of my time thinking to myself, and I'm doing just fine. I can accept reality, right, Magic 8 Ball? Oh, what do you know anyways? So after his friends act like a bunch of jerks, he gets his line caught on something and it breaks. So naturally, he dives into the water to show that fish who's boss, but instead finds a big chest and score, there's no lock on it. Inside the chest is the bamboo book and he's like, well, this is just garbage. But this bowl, on the other hand, I could use this. I mean, that would make a fine centerpiece on any dining room table, even a kitchen island. Throw some knickknacks in there, or even just a bunch of green apples. That always looks nice. So he gets back on the boat and is like, well, that's enough fishing for today. I gotta go home and clean this bowl.
Piece of junk. Might as well have a bowl of rice.
And look at that. This is the magic vessel. And not only did he get a free bowl of rice, it's not overcooked. Something that I have a lot of trouble with for some reason. I don't understand it. I mean, I make minute rice, and I just can't figure it out. Wouldn't it be funny if he found out later that you only get one wish, and he wasted it on some rice? And not even a big bowl of rice. That's a very moderate amount. So now Tai is thinking, holy crap, I can wish for other stuff too, like something to go with the rice. Because, I mean, come on, you can't just have the rice and that's it. It's just all carbs. I'm telling you right now, if I had a magic vessel, I would be eating very balanced meals 3 times a day, except Fridays. That's when I'd be really testing this thing out to see how well it can produce a Chicago-style deep dish. Anyways, Tai is like, wait a minute, I could ask this vessel for anything, even silver. And look, his vessel runneth over. Now Tai is walking around town, flexing like no one has ever flexed before, and goes up to his old fishing buddies like, hey, let's go eat at this restaurant. I can afford it because I'm rich now. Then while they're eating, he decides, what the hell, I'll just buy the restaurant. Because if Kitchen Nightmares has taught me anything, Apparently now he just wants to lose all of his money. Then he goes to a prophet, and the prophet is like, oh man, your life is in danger. And Ty's like, wait a minute, that's not what I wanted to hear at all. Let's go to a different prophet. And the second prophet is like, oh man, you're gonna have 2 wives, and there's gonna be a witch involved somehow. And Ty's like, that's better, I'll take it. But then they go back to the restaurant, and Ty thinks, wait a minute, I've got a bad feeling about these people in here. Maybe I'll feel better if I hide behind my fan. So this guy, with his knives and flips, makes pretty short work of these 2 guys.
Okay, pal. I've heard you have a rare...
See, this is a huge problem in today's society. You always hear, don't run with scissors, or be careful handling those knives, but nobody gives any warnings when it comes to chopsticks. How many more people are gonna have to die before we finally start talking about chopstick safety?
Lee's double blade never misses. But my chopsticks are too much for even him.
So you are...
Deadly chopstick. Money is my game. You just think about this. You know I can nail your hide to the wall with these deadly chopsticks.
Dude, you are in huge trouble if you're dealing with someone named Deadly Chopsticks. I mean, you know this person is serious about being deadly with chopsticks when they call themselves Deadly Chopsticks.
His chopsticks are too thick. Would you want to try one of my famous needles?
Okay, so the good news is that the bandits that keep trying to rob you keep getting killed. The bad news is that they keep getting killed by deadlier bandits who also want to rob you. Which kind of sucks because I think these are some pretty cool characters. I mean, they could join together and become an unstoppable force of sharp objects that, progressively get smaller. So you can probably guess what happens here. The needle guy gets killed by a guy who doesn't even use weapons at all, just his killer palms.
All these weapons are quite deadly. But I, Killer Palm Force, can kill without a trace. Would you want to make a deal with me, Killer Palm?
And do you know what I like about Killer Palms? Just look at his face. He's clearly very serious about sunscreen application. He's letting it soak in. Now you're probably thinking, all these people are suddenly trying to rob him. What the hell is going on here? Well, I'll tell you what's going on. It's a little thing called mo money, mo problems. And it's a very real issue. Someone falls ass backwards into a bunch of money, and suddenly they have a huge target on their back. It's a tale as old as time. But luckily, this guy gets taken out by acupuncture needles. Which makes me think that you would really need to watch your step in this town because there seems to be deadly sharp objects just all over the place. It's kind of like that downtown where I live, but it's much more sad. Anyways, since Ty was saved by these 2 women, Violet and Hyacinth, he asked them to stay at his house for a while and be his bodyguards. And they're like, hey, you're rich, and a rich man should be married. Which I don't necessarily agree with, but okay. So Ty agrees to marry both of them, which is a little awkward because they're sisters, which could get really weird when it comes to, reading the vows. I mean, who goes first? Where did you think I was going to go with that joke? Ask yourself that. Then go take a good hard look at yourself in the mirror. Then, once you're ready to behave yourself, maybe you can come back and join us. But during the wedding parade, the prophets show up, and I'm really not sure what this does. One of them throws this thing into the air, which shoots a laser, and I don't know. So they're like, dude, we told you this was gonna happen. You're bringing witches into our city, man. Is this what you want? Witches? Because this is how you get witches. Do you know how to get rid of witches? I'd like to suggest that you don't. And Ty's like, dude, get out of here. I'm trying to get laid. And again, I'm really not sure what happens here. He rips this sign and that stops the lasers. Anyways, later that night, his wives are like, hey, Ty, come on, show us how you got all this money. Show us the thing. So he whips it out of a planter, which is an okay hiding spot, I guess, Because, I mean, you gotta prevent anyone from ever getting close to it or trying to water it, because then they're gonna see that it's not a real plant and it's not real soil. And then that just looks super suspicious. And let's say you want to hire a gardener one day. You know, that's an awkward conversation. Okay, so I want you to take care of all of the plants and flowers, except this one. Just leave this one alone. This one's very special to me. No particular reason, just forget it. Anyways, he's like, go ahead and try it. This thing will make anything you want. And Hyacinth asks the vessel for 2 pearl brooches, but nothing happens. And she's like, well, this is bullshit. And he's like, no, you're not doing it right. You gotta wave your hand in a circular motion like this. And voila. So now they're like, hey, let's play hide and seek where you try to find us blindfolded. Which seems really suspicious to me. That's like giving someone your debit card and the passcode for the debit card, and then they're like, hey, let's play a game where I lock you in a closet and see how long it takes you to get out. You're probably expecting them to take off with the magic vessel, but they don't. And Ty takes Hyacinth to the bedroom, where she's like, oh, I shouldn't be first. Violet will be lonely. You should have sex with her first. So then Ty goes to Violet's room, but she's like, oh no, Hyacinth should be first. And this goes back and forth for a really long time. I mean, damn, the guy can't even get laid on his wedding night. Neither of his wives want to have sex with him. And that's when he goes to the magic vessel and wishes for a warm sock. No, I'm just kidding. Anyways, now that he's passed out, they make their move, taking the vessel and trying to escape with it. But they're trapped behind some kind of a force field that prevents them from leaving. And look, it's all because of the prophets and their damn magic signs again. So they try to have a good old-fashioned laser fight, but they end up losing.
Let's take a nap first, and then we'll collect them at daybreak.
Wait, what? You just captured the 2 people you're trying to get rid of, and you want to take a nap first? That's like something a Bond villain would do if they had narcolepsy. Anyways, something starts flashing here. What is that? Wolf? A jackal? I don't know. Let's just move on. So then in the morning, Ty finds his wives all messed up and powerless. And he's like, what's going on here? Oh, wait, it's those damn magic signs again. So the girls are like, look, we're sorry, but we've been ordered to steal your magic vessel by an evil witch named Flower Fox. And oh crap, here she comes. So Flower Fox uses her go-go gadget arm to grab the vessel. But the prophets are back from their nap and they're like, bitch, we've been looking for you, let's do this. And they seem pretty confident, just look at them, shaking their stuff. But little do they know, Flower Fox is the ultimate vape queen. And look at them now, all disoriented, covered in a cloud of various carcinogens. See, Flower Fox is super good with the wind, so she blows them away and then crushes them with a boulder. And oh crap, look at her now, she's huge. Oh wait, she's small again, I think. Oh, no, she's huge. But now we see that not only can she blow, but she can suck too. Because she sucks up Violet and Hyacinth into this little bottle. But again, I'm really not sure about the sizes here because, look, first the bottle is small, then it's big, then it's slightly smaller. And now Flower Fox is normal size again. But look, her fan is huge. Which I have to say, that would be a really cool special ability to have, you know. So to make things really small or really big whenever you want. I can think of a few situations where that would come in handy. Like if you're eating a sandwich and halfway through eating the sandwich you realize, I'm really hungry. A lot more hungry than I thought I was. Well, then you can just make the sandwich bigger, you know, to fit your appetite. That's really the only thing I can think of though. I bet you guys can think of something else, can't you? I bet you probably were. Yeah. I'm not mad, just disappointed. So Flower Fox is like, I want the bamboo book. Give me the bamboo book. And Ty is like, what the hell are you talking about? Oh wait, that piece of crap I found in the chest? Okay, fine, I'll dive in the water and see if I can find it. So Ty starts swimming around, and he's able to hold his breath for just an unreal amount of time. But here's the thing, Flower Fox is just hovering over him the whole time watching him. And have you ever had someone watching over you while you're trying to get something done? It's the most distracting thing ever. Suddenly you just start screwing up at everything, all while you're trying to tell the person, like, I swear this never happens. So eventually he finds the bamboo book, which tells him to go northwest and ride the phoenix. And he gets out of the water and I guess there's a phoenix just waiting there, which flies into the sky. And now the chase is on. This sequence is hilarious, by the way, because Flower Fox keeps breathing fire and torching this guy, and the Phoenix keeps saving him, and Ty is like, for the love of God, go faster, I'm being cooked alive here. And the Phoenix is just like, bitch, I'm going as fast as I can, I didn't sign up for this. So Ty sees land, and is like, okay, well, I guess this is the place. So he jumps off, and somehow ends up being protected by some kind of bubble.
You'll regret this for all eternity. You have 3 days to give it to me.
That's gotta be one of the most empty threats I've ever heard. I mean, why 3 days specifically? What's gonna happen at the end of the 3 days? I'm protected by a bubble. You've got nothing. Well, 3 days. Ooh, you know what? Go ahead. Whatever you're gonna do, try it right now. Oh, that's right. You already did try it and nothing happened. So why would that change after 3 days? Anyways, Ty goes and starts, I don't know, wandering around, and he finds some food and just starts eating it. Then this old guy shows up and is like, hey, that's my lunch?
Don't you know that heavenly fruit of Fairy Mountain takes 300 years to blossom and 300 years to bear fruit and 300 more years to ripen? I waited so long for this fruit, and you went ahead and ate it all.
Imagine living on an island by yourself, waiting 900 years to eat something. You go take a leak for 5 minutes, you come back, and some dope is just stuffing his pie hole. However, I will say this whole thing is pretty dumb. I mean, come on, that's all the fruit that came off the tree. And here's the thing, I guarantee the fruit didn't taste that great. Because 900 years is one hell of a buildup. Nothing can live up to that hype. You know, you're gonna taste it and be like, yeah, it's good, but is a 900-year wait good? So Ty reads the bamboo book, and it tells him to get energy from the sun and moon. And just look at him, sitting there roasting in the heat, starting to look a little red there, Ty. And I've just got one question for you, Ty. What SPF were you using there? I mean, that's gotta be like a 120 situation, right? Maybe even more. Anyways, after all day and night, it appears he's charged up with energy. I'm assuming that's what the sparkles represent. And look, finally, it's Richard Kiel. The dude gets top billing and doesn't even show up until 2/3 into the movie. And to make it even worse, I hate to say it, but the dude is kind of a simp.
Grasshopper, please don't stare at me. Would you like to comb my hair?
So after he combs her hair and breaks some rocks to show her how strong he is, probably not strong enough to break out of that friend zone though, she decides to just flood the village and kill everyone because, you know, that's what evil people do for fun. Anyways, then she goes to Ty and she's like, your 3 days are up. And he's like, oh, really? I thought you came by to return my vessel. And she's like, yeah, sure, it's right here. Come and take it. But Ty's like, wait a minute. That's a trick to get me to come out of the bubble. See, everyone made fun of Ty at the beginning of the movie for being smart. And where are they now? That's right, dying a horrific death. So it just goes to show you kids, probably should have thought of something to say before I started saying this. Okay, be nice to the smart kids. In fact, be nice to everybody. But in your circle of friends, I would recommend you make sure there's a smart kid in there, at least one. Because I'm telling you, they're probably gonna save your ass sooner or later. So Flower Fox is like, look, see, I'm drowning everyone in your town. And Ty is just like, yeah, and? These were the same people that made fun of me for drinking tea and reading books. And now I'm on a floating island protected by an invisible force field, and all I do is eat ancient fruits and work on my tan all day. So why should I care? And he's got a point. So then Ty finds a sword and a stone, and it turns out he can use his UV ray power to shoot lasers out of it. And he's like, okay, this is badass. Anyways, the old guy is like, hey, you gotta stop Flower Fox. I know you don't really care, but she's killing people, and we're kind of the good guys. So here, I got you these new threads, and oh my god, this dude is decked out now. So he flies over to, I don't know, some other island, and he's like, all right, I guess I'll just shoot this giant boulder. And it looks like he bit off more than he could chew, because here comes the angry rock man. And I don't blame the rock monster one bit. Honestly, I would feel the same way. You would too. Think about it. You're sitting at home, just hanging out, and suddenly someone just comes by and explodes a wall off of your house. You'd be looking for blood. Oh my god, look out, Ty. He's gonna step on your cape. But here comes the Phoenix to the rescue by pecking at the monster's head, which you'd think wouldn't be very effective, but it is. And I would just like to take the time to say that yes, although these monsters aren't exactly as cool as they looked on the poster, they're still in the movie and trying to put on a good fight. Anyways, here we go. It's the fight between Ty and Jaws, which honestly there's been no build up to, but it has its moments, especially once Jaws puts on these hardcore oven mitts and just starts beating the crap out of this guy. But no matter what happens, as long as the sun's out, Ty can just use his laser sword. Except Flower Fox has a trick up her sleeve. She uses the magic vessel to create clones of Ty, which sucks because I bet Ty is just thinking like, if I would have thought of that in the first place, I would have just surrounded my whole house with clone guards. But also, this would be a pretty intense situation. I mean, think about it. If you had to fight your clone, which is actually one of my biggest fears, because they would know all of your weaknesses, physical and mental. You could show up to the fight armed to the teeth, but out of nowhere, they could just bring up a super embarrassing childhood memory and it's game over. Anyways, Ty has the idea to just throw the bamboo book into the air, and I really don't understand. I mean, it lights on fire and then there's all this lightning. It starts striking Flower Fox and then she gets wrapped up in it. And I'm not even gonna try. I have no idea what this is. And then the boulder crushing the prophets explodes. And then they just send her up into the sky and they all fly away. Except Jaws. So in the end, they all take off and smile and laugh before taking away all of Ty's powers and his clothes. So he's just left naked falling through the sky into the water. And that's it. I mean, they say he gained knowledge, but to me, in the end, it just looks like the guy who ended up losing his clothes. So he really didn't profit off of this whole situation. He's in the red, really. He's minus one outfit. Now, I have to say, this is actually a pretty cool movie. It's not perfect by any means, obviously, but it's got an interesting story. They really tried to push Richard Kiel being in this movie, even though he played a super small role, but I get why they did it for marketing purposes. But even still, this movie is super obscure. I had a really hard time finding any information about it. And finding an HD copy was pretty much impossible. That's not completely shocking. A lot of these old movies, it's like they never got, an HD transfer. You're lucky to find a VHS rip sometimes. But it's definitely weird. And on that note, thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you all next time. So, you want to know the story behind this episode? This is the second time I've shot this episode. Usually shooting an episode takes me about an hour and a half, 2 hours. So I shot this episode. I hit stop on the camera, but before it finalized writing to the cards, I took the cards out of the camera, like super fast. So everything was corrupted. So now I'm back shooting this again. And I'm not happy about it. On the bright side, I am coming up with some jokes that I didn't come up with the first time. So I guess you are benefiting from my mistake.